Eren, beautiful seeing you, brother.
Thank you for having me, my
Oh,
man.
man. Thanks for taking the time here. How's your day so far?
Day's going amazing. It's Sunday today, I think. It's a long weekend. I'm having a good time. I'm trying to stay as productive as I possibly can, so thank you for getting me out of the house.
Oh, my pleasure. Like, aside from everything, it's always good to see your beautiful face.
Oh, man.
And I'm very blessed to have you here, man. I'm going to start with my very first question. What do you think the Canadian culture is?
Canadian culture for me it's something very special. You know, I have the opportunity to travel the world and I meet a lot of people wherever I go, and whenever I tell people that I'm from Canada, just seeing how their face lights up and how excited they get just of your presence, knowing that there's a Canadian in the room, is something to be very proud of. So for me, you know, I come from a diverse family, and neither of my parents were born in Canada. And one of the things I found was interesting is they never tried to push their culture on me growing up. They told me from day one, you're Canadian. There's such diversity and multiculturalism worldwide. And I think that that's beautiful. I think actually social media in one way or another has kind of shown us how big the world truly is, but at the same time, you know, how small it is in regards to the fact that we're all very similar and we're all alike in our own different ways. You know, I like to study body language and psychology and human behavior and stuff like that. So I think it's always fascinating for me to see, you know, different cultures and how they go about representing, you know, their heritage, right? And for myself specifically, you know, I think growing up in today's society, it's important to have an understanding of your roots and where you're from, but also to not allow that to define who you are and where you want to go in your life. This is Canada, this is a land of opportunity, North America as well. In general, there's just opportunities everywhere, booming, left, right, and center, especially, you know, in a big metropolitan city here, like, kind of like Toronto. So it's important to know your heritage and know where you come from, but at the same time, I don't think that that's something that should hold anybody back or limit them from being able to achieve whatever it is that they choose to.
Going back to your to the very beginning, I mean, the first couple years you probably don't remember, maybe, Eren. And then
What did they tell me? I don't know.
walk us through this successful path. What do you think? What's your take on building a successful life in Canada? Like, just walk us through how did it all start with you, and how did it come up with your purpose? How do you do all the things you do?
You know, I mean, that's a very good question. I think now, in retrospect, looking back on my life, obviously, there are certain things that at the time, I was just kind of navigating myself through life, as anybody else is. You know, you're trying to find yourself. But I was fortunate from a younger age to kind of know my path and to see my path and to understand who it is that I am and what it is that I want to do. And I think I was largely influenced by my older brothers. You know, one of them was a massage therapist, so he was involved in health, you know, quite a bit. And then my other brother was a chef as well, right? And kind of marrying the two, fitness and health, together is essentially where I found my passion to do what I'm doing right now. Now, I recall going to college and taking business administration, but you know, that athletic base and foundation had always been there because I was involved in boxing and hockey and soccer. And you know, having that athletic background, I think, is actually what has given me a lot of discipline to use that same kind of formula into all aspects of my life and be an entrepreneur as well. I think that it's made me relentless. I think it's taught me perseverance. So, you know, how I pretty much got into the whole fitness industry was through the influence of my older brothers. And as I started to progress into it, I ended up taking a fitness and health promotion class in college, and I graduated. And before I even graduated, as a matter of fact, I was offered a job at a high-end private studio in Ottawa as a fitness and health consultant.
Nice.
That led to one thing led to another. They were actually promoting fitness competitions at the time. They were hosting the two main fitness competitions in Canada, which lead to the highest level of competition, the Olympia stage. That's where Arnold Schwarzenegger himself was, like the 7-time Mr. Olympia champion. So, you know, my employers at the time were like, Eren, you know, you got to do this. This thing's new. You are men's physique. That's the division there that I compete at, right? We're like, you're men's physique. You're going to kill it. You're going to win. I was like, I don't really want to be a bodybuilder. It's not really like what I had determined as my path to be. But I just said, you know, I'm going to start this process and I'm going to go as far with it as I possibly can. And I was undefeated in 4 of my competitions, and I actually had the honor of representing Canada and becoming Canada's first world champion as well, and also reaching the Olympia stage to be the first athlete to represent Canada on the Olympia stage in my division too.
Okay, so you have been training how many years now?
This would be my 12th year training, non-stop.
And when did you become a professional athlete?
I became a professional athlete in 2014. That's when I won the World Championships. My main focus is to essentially take anything that I can do that's an extension of myself that's gonna bring about fulfillment and empowerment and happiness to others. So whether that's through apparel, whether that's through teaching people how to coach themselves, whether that's consulting and helping people launch their businesses. I've actually helped over 30 plus entrepreneurs in the fitness industry launch their own business. And I've never even taken money for that, but that's something that I think I'm gonna start to build a curriculum within the next year to educate people on how to do, self-employed businesses through the fitness industry and generate passive income through doing that. Because it's not that it's huge, but it's just I see a lot of people that have the potential to really help people. They have the knowledge, they have the education, but they just need to essentially really, be more precise and finesse the message and their approach and how they promote themselves, how they get that message out there.
I know that you're about to start something really big, and I will actually have my 200 questions for that. And particularly about now, you mentioned you helped a lot of people started their own journey. That's a very valuable thing to me, and then part of why I do this is making that time shorter, and all this has a little bit easier for people. So I will definitely be talking more about that. But going back to your professional athlete, tell us about this mindset of it. You are obviously preparing for these competitions in a very extensive way. How do you get prepared for this such a big commitment and discipline?
So I've done 15 competitions. I've coached hundreds of athletes, and I think the best way to go about it, especially for a competition, is to reverse engineer. This is actually what I apply to everything in my life, is working backwards from your goal. And I kind of talk about this frequently on my social media, and I try and share this message with my athletes and with anybody else that I'm working with, is focus on the end goal and focus on how the end goal works back towards yourself. So when you're competing, you have to have a certain look, an aesthetic look on stage. It's not a performance-based sport, it's about how do you look. And there's obviously a certain process that you have to get to look, the way that you should on stage if you want to win the competition, right? And for me, I think the sooner you understand and establish the relationship with your body and how your body functions and works, it becomes easier to have a stronger mindset towards what needs to be done to achieve that. So for me, for example, people have different approaches, but I'll cut out sugar, I'll cut out caffeine, I'll cut out certain supplements as well, and I'll make some other changes to my training and to my nutrition. And for me, I'm able to do that cold turkey. So you got me at a good time right now. I just started my prep 2 days ago, and I cut everything out of my diet, and now I'm able to actually start to see the progress that I'm looking for. Right? Some people, it takes them 1 whole week of eliminating certain things, the next following week to apply different principles and methodologies. For me, it's like I've done it so many times and so regimented, and you become better and better at it the more that you do it, because you're not just understanding the process and the physiology of your own body as an athlete, but you're also understanding what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So it's easier to expedite that process because you're like, all right, I've done 15 competitions. I know that this works. Yeah. What I'd like to do actually for each competition that's different from the previous is I like to keep the same approach and principles that I've applied previously that have worked. And within the last maybe, 4 weeks, I'll change one little variable just to see if I can use that to perform better or look better or just enhance my progress in some kind of way, right? So these are different things here that I like to apply, and I think that same kind of formula applies to life too. Invest and practice in what works time after time. Be consistent. Yeah. Keep that cycle going, right? But at the same time, know when it's the right time to break that cycle and to take on more challenges, because challenges that present themselves bring about growth. Whether you succeed or you fail, at the end of the day, you learn.
Yeah.
That worked, that didn't work. That's progress. That's moving forward, right? So from a champion mindset, I think the sooner that you surrender yourself to what needs to be done in order to achieve success, it only becomes easier each time.
That sounds like a really good quote, man. All these hard progress, and it's when you talk to me, I'm picturing you like getting up very early, being very careful, arranging your entire life schedule around this. What does motivate you?
I have a lot of things that motivate me, but at this point in time, it's the movement. It's the Legend Nation movement. These are my athletes. These are my family members. These are friends. These are clients. These are just people that have come into my life at some point in time, and they wanted to be a part of this movement and this culture that we're creating with Legend Nation. And I'm just, these people keep me going. You know what I mean? I don't want to let these people down, and I want to essentially share anything that is an extension of myself that's going to bring them, like I mentioned before, fulfillment, empowerment, and happiness. I'm already at peace with my life. I'm not complacent. There's still a lot of things that I want to do, but having not come from much and having to be able to find happiness in having nothing, you get to a point in your life where you realize that anything more than nothing is to be celebrated. So I don't need a flashy car. I don't need a penthouse suite. I don't need to, I do, but I don't need to travel the world to know who I am or to find happiness within myself. I've already been able to achieve and attain that for myself. So I've dedicated now the rest of my life to giving back and giving the most that I can to help others find that same deeper value and substance within their own lives. And hearing their stories and seeing their struggles, and also hearing how, building this community has empowered their life and has just given them hope, is something that drives me and motivates me day after day. The more that I see that, these people are finding happiness, the more I'm like, okay, you know what? I gotta push it. I gotta go to the next level. I gotta touch as many people as I possibly can. Because I have this platform here, and I'm grateful that people wanna hear my voice. They wanna listen to my message. So I wanna be able to give them something that's gonna be of value, that's just gonna really change their life in a way that they're gonna wanna empower other individuals around them and start this chain reaction of global positivity.
What's the moment that you will consider yourself, I did everything I wanted to and I'm a successful guy? Is there such a thing?
I think I'm getting close to that, but I know that that's still years away. I think, not even that I think, but this year is dedicated to a lot of growth. I made a lot of changes last year, and this year, there's a lot of projects that I want to share with you guys, but I can't, not just yet. And I know that these projects are gonna help bring me closer to finding deeper fulfillment in myself, to finding deeper peace in myself. And I have small little goals here and there that I have set out for myself that I know are benchmarks for success. There are certain things in my mind, ultimately helping out my family is the most paramount one. Legend Nation and my family. Once I've achieved giving my family back all the things that I think that maybe they deserve, or things that they might just want, that's when I know that I will have achieved true success. Now, from a different perspective, I would like to train Drake.
Do you think he's out of shape?
I mean, he has a new trainer now, and his new trainer now is good, and he's putting in work. But I'd like to train Drake as a goal for myself.
Sure.
I wanted to star in a movie, or just be in a movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, because I think that would be cool. And I almost met him last year. I met his family. I was hanging out with his family last year, which was an amazing experience.
Awesome, yeah.
And then the other one was I wanted, and I don't know if she's still doing it, but I wanted to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Yeah?
She's awesome.
Like, you
She's
want to
all
just like
about
dance with
positive.
her?
I want to dance with her. I want to jump on her couch. That sounds a little sexually suggested, but.
It would put the ratings up, yeah.
But those are three things that I keep telling
totally.
myself. I'm like, oh, that would be just fun to know that I
That's
did
awesome.
those things, Other than that, I'm already happy with my life. But if that happens, then that's just icing on the cake that I can't eat right now. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy you one as soon as you're done with the competition.
Please.
So you're working on 100 things right now, and 100, maybe 200 things are coming up. Tell us about Eren's one day. What does it look like?
It's not as glamorous as it looks like on Instagram, but I wake up, I'm just gonna look. I usually look at my phone right away, which I know is a bad habit, but there's just so much stimulus and so many people that are always messaging me, whether it's an email, whether it's Instagram DMs, whether it's text messages, doesn't matter. A lot of people are trying to connect with me and collaborate in some kind of way or another. So I'll look on my phone, I'll see what kind of tasks I have for the day. I'll have my first meal, answer hundreds of emails, and do a bunch of phone calls, go to the gym, train myself. I might train some of my my athletes. I do train celebrities as well, which is like, I love training athletes and I love training celebrities as much as I do love training, just everyday people, but I love training the athletes and celebrities because there's a little bit more pressure and urgency on achieving the goal. So they're harassing me like, come on man, let's go work out. And I'm like, all right, I'm up, right? So I'll train, the athletes or the celebrities. Following that, I might teach some athletes posing. That's another thing there that I'm honored to be in a position for. I'm an officially sanctioned ambassador through the Canadian Physique Alliance to teach posing. So once the season starts up for competitions, there's an insane amount of volume of people that I'm working with on a daily basis, teaching them how to pose in different categories. So that will usually happen throughout the day. Tons of coffee shop business meetings, just talking about different projects and collaborations. I might travel outside of the city to go and meet different partners, or they might come into town. I'm not gonna get too much into the details of some of the things that we're cooking up, but definitely a lot of very exciting projects, coming out this year. Following that, I'll come back home, answer more emails, more phone calls, all the same thing, and call it a night.
That sounds like a lot of work. What about play? What does the social part of Eren?
I get enough social stimulus, I think, from the business meetings and the phone calls and responding to my followers that, I don't necessarily crave going out and communicating with people. Like, this is something that not too many people would know about me from, you guys could probably assume this, but whenever I'm in the gym and I'm training, my training's about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes tops, and that's go. But I'm usually in the gym for about 3 hours a day, which isn't efficient, obviously, because I'm just talking to people. I'm a social butterfly. I can't help it. People gravitate to me, and I love being a problem solver. So people will oftentimes come up to me and be like, what's that exercise about? Or I noticed that you were doing this, or I overheard you saying this about this. Maybe we should partner together, maybe we should work together. It's one thing that I really love about Toronto is that there's just so much opportunity and you never know who is right next to you. Yeah. So it's important to always act professionally. It's always important to lead by example, which is what we believe in. That's our motto, that's our philosophy, that's what we live by. Yeah. And I think through just being open-minded and releasing yourself of uncertainty and releasing yourself of entitlement and expectations is truly how you live a more fulfilled life, and you're able to bring in more opportunities around you. They literally will just fall into my laps just because I'm at the right place at the right time with a positive state of mind.
Yeah, I can always see that. I'm always happy around you, and I've seen all the other people are the same. Tell us about the fitness and health community here in Toronto. There are a lot of people who are moving to a new city and they would like to carry on their healthy lifestyles and they want to get in the shape or keep in the shape. What do these people look like in this health and wellness community here?
In Toronto?
Yeah.
How do they look like?
Yeah, are they mostly everyday people around you, or do you usually have the professionals?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. I would say, the main focus of Legend Nation is to promote fitness and health to everybody, to unite us. Because there's a lot of fitness and health teams that their focus is if you're not like us, then you're not the best, and this and that, and you know, if you're second place, you're just as good as last place, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, I understand that as a competitor, as a champion, I get it. But at the same time, you know, we should be rewarding people for just making positive choices in their lives. You know what I mean? Life isn't always about getting on stage and winning shows and stuff like that. There's a lot of forces outside of that that also control who wins a show, right? So that being said, I think that it's important to just embrace the fact that you were here before, you're here now. How do you feel? I don't care how you look. I'm sure you look great, but how do you feel? And with how you're feeling, truly let's measure that in how you make others feel themselves.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
That's what I think is important, is just essentially being the catalyst for positivity for those around you in life. I think like as a human being, I think that that's like one of our ultimate purposes and what we should focus ourselves on, rather than look at me, let me take energy from you. It's what can I do for you to make you feel happier and better in your life? Be a catalyst for other people. You know what I mean? Tupac said it himself, and I don't know if you guys know. Oh, Tupac. Tupac on the Kicks.
Love it, yeah.
But he said, and this isn't verbatim, but he said, I'm not saying I could change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the mind that will. And you know, that's something that's very powerful to me, because I think each and every one of us, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what country you live in, regardless of your profession, we all have, you know, a deeper power that we're able to just motivate and inspire other people, or just push people forward, or help challenge people so that they can really be their best. And why don't we all just try and find that deeper fulfillment within ourselves, extract it, and share it with the world to make the world a better place.
And you chose a really great channel for that, because being active, working out, getting into shape, feeling good about yourself. These are actually very good points to start with, because once you just like get up and then feel fulfilled and good about yourself, it really leads you through the day to more success and more happiness. I
Absolutely.
completely agree on that. So you have a big Instagram and online presence, and then obviously you've been getting a lot of messages. Actually, you have shown me a couple of those before. So I believe there will be a lot of followers or people that approach to you online or offline. Eren, I want to be fucking you. How do you start with those guys? What do you recommend them?
It's always fascinating to me to see what people give power to. So I get a lot of messages and people are like, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. And I always challenge them. I say, what exactly is it that I do? And I like to listen just to see how I can improve myself and how I can really, like, you know, be more precise with my messaging and promote. You know, I know what I'm promoting, but I want to see maybe if there's something that I could do more to invest into other people, right? And I always challenge people and I say, what is it that you see that I'm doing? Or what is it that you want to do? And for the majority of it, a lot of people want to be an athlete. And they believe that becoming a professional athlete is going to bring about, you know, covers of magazines, sponsorships, whether it's apparel or supplementation, you know, and be able to maybe create their own online business and travel the world and be able to make passive income. So I get a lot of messages of people saying that they want that type of lifestyle for themselves. They want freedom, ultimately.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I'm really focusing on, because I've helped a lot of people start up their own business, to be entrepreneurs, to be self-employed, and to be able to have that passive income for themselves. So within the next 12 months, I'm dedicating a lot of time to creating some kind of curriculum for these people so that they can actually follow a step-by-step process that's going to help them find, you know, a way that they can actually have more freedom within their life, but also be able to live the life that they want, and still be able to support financially the life that they want.
What does it look like? Is that I have an idea, or I have a business, or I have a skill, and then I start on Instagram, or how does it look like?
Yeah, I mean, you know, for the most part, there are some people that really know precisely what they want to do. And what they need is they just need, you know, some innovative ideas, or they just want to come and contact me and say, what's a new trend right now? What's a new way to get my message out there? I'm trying this, Eren, but it's not working. I see what you're doing and it seems to be working. You're engaging people. People are always like waiting for you to say something because they're dying to hear what the next thing is that you have going on or how they can be part of it too, right? So essentially what I do is I'll just try and sit down with these people and understand their business, understand the deeper message of what they're trying to get across. And through that, I'm able to just, you know, really kind of like hone in and focus their energy so that they're not just expiring a ton of time and money on things that aren't actually going to help progress their business or their movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very nice. I think now it's the time. Let's talk about your Legend brand. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so the Legend brand, the Legend apparel brand, is something that I take a lot of pride in. I started up the Legend apparel brand back in 2013 when I started the business, and you know, I can't explain how much it meant to me to see people wearing the shirts with the logos and the designs that I had created. And one of the things that I loved about it was the game's changed in regards to apparel now, but everything was given out by hand to like the community, you know, to people that were in my circle that I would see mostly on a daily basis or just within Ottawa and Toronto, Ontario, right? And I think what was really exciting was seeing how people would be working out wearing the shirts and they would tell me, I feel so strong, like I was having a bad day and I woke up and I wasn't motivated and I threw on the Legend shirt and I went and I had the most kick-ass workout of my entire life. You know what I mean? And to me, it's like, I don't have kids, man, but let me tell you, like to see how much you can like inspire people and motivate them and empower them simply with a piece of fabric is very powerful, because I think in today's day and age, you know, people want identity. Mm-hmm. If you're an entrepreneur, that's one of the things that I always tell people is you need to essentially create your community more than anything. You have to nurture your community more than anything.
Absolutely.
Build that following. And I don't just mean people that follow you and they like your pictures because you're a girl here and you're wearing booty shorts and you're wearing, you know, something that's showing, you know,
not wearing anything.
You're not wearing anything, right? Just to be polite about it. But I think that it's important to actually build a community that engages with you and wants to be part of everything that you're doing. And the second that you're able to create that brand, you can essentially touch anything with the Midas touch. Whether you're doing shoes, whether you're doing apparel, whether you're doing bags, whether you're doing anything that has your brand on it that is conducive with the lifestyle that you're sharing with people, is something that is growing exponentially fast in today's day and age in consumer marketing, right? And I think that that's powerful because I know that what we're creating with the apparel sells itself. And it's not just the fact that it will sell itself, it's that there is a deeper message there that unites people. One of the things that I found, yet again, that was fascinating was because everything was handed out by hand, the apparel back in the day with Legend, was that people would see other people wearing the same Legend shirts and they would send me messages and be like, oh, I met so-and-so at the gym. We got talking because I noticed they were wearing the shirt, and I was like, hey, you know Eren? Yeah, I know Eren. And, you know, and the conversation started.
That's awesome.
And some of these people have remained friends simply because of that one thing. And I'm so grateful to be in a position that I can just create something.
The beautiful feeling and satisfaction you get from that, that's awesome.
To create something that brings people together, you know what I mean? Like, words cannot express how grateful I am, honestly, to be able to do that. And there's so much more that's coming with the apparel. I don't want to reveal too much, but a whole line is coming, and it's not just for athletes, but a lot of the focus is athletic streetwear. So these are things here that you can wear to the club, on a night out with your significant other, to the beach. Doesn't matter. You know, there's a few other things too that I really want to get into people's day-to-day lifestyle that is going to be solution to a lot of other problems. I want to help people. I want them to really feel that Legend apparel is bridging the gap. So there's a lot of really exciting things that are going to be coming up within the next few
I'm
months.
looking forward to it, yeah.
Starting with the Legend Stealth Cap.
Not two questions for that.
Yes.
This is a cool hat. Where do I buy that? Where do I get that?
You're going to be able to get this at legend.fit. That's going to be the website. And there's going to be a lot more products that are going to be coming out, but we're definitely going to start our pre-order very soon because we do have the final design. We've tried it with a few test groups. Everybody seems to love the material. They seem to like some of the deeper messaging. And I don't know if we have one of the designs here.
I do actually.
Do we?
Yeah.
All right.
Do I have the legal disclaimer to put this on?
You can put that on.
All
I don't know about your hair right now.
All right.
Yeah, well, you might have to adjust it,
And,
but yeah.
They're calling me behead.
Yeah, there's a lot of knowledge up there. All right, you gotta hold it somehow.
All right. Do I look?
I like it. You look legendary. All right. But this is one of the first designs here that we want to release because hats are quick, they're easy, they're simple. You can wear them to the gym, you can wear them when you go out. Doesn't matter.
I feel
You're
a little
making a
different.
statement.
I feel like a little bit, a little powerful thing
Yeah?
inside here.
There's
Yeah.
some energy right there.
Do I look as cool now? The arms are the same though. They didn't
No,
grow.
I don't know. Give it time. Give it time.
I thought they were gonna be like. Tell us about the Legend brand. How did it come up with the name?
You know, Legend for me is something that I feel we all just want to strive to be the best. And it's not in a competitive way, it's just in the fact that we want to lead by example, we want to do the best that we can, and we want to be not necessarily acknowledged for that, but I think that there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of good in the world today, and they don't have a platform to be able to promote all the good that they're doing. And it's not to promote the good to say, hey, I'm out here doing good things, I want validation from others. It's the fact of like, hey, I'm doing good things, and maybe by sharing with you guys that I'm doing something good for the environment or for the community or for society is gonna help embolden other individuals to do the same. So I see people, they'll go around showing videos of themselves donating food to the homeless, for example. And you'll read sometimes the comments. Half of them are, oh yeah, well you just want people to see that you're doing good stuff. And then the other half is like, wow, you know what? That's such a great initiative.
Yeah.
I should go out there and do something like that. You know what? I'm gonna take the initiative now to go out there and to just do some random act of kindness.
Yeah.
And I think that in today's day and age and world that we live in, not too many people are focused on what they can do for others. They're more focused on what others can do for them.
Yeah.
And I think through the Legend brand, thinking under the philosophy that so long as you lead by example, positive things will come from that.
Yeah.
And I want to just create something that not essentially forces people, but just gives them the idea to be the best that they possibly can be, to strive for this excellence. And it doesn't matter if you're the best, you know, barista, for example, you're a legend. Doesn't matter if you're the best accountant, you're a legend of your craft. Doesn't matter if you're like a single mom or single dad or something like that. Maybe to your child, you're their hero, you're their legend, you know what I mean? And I think that it's just a very powerful word that can be used to really just help us strive to be the best that we can be and to also help others be the best that they can be too.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it. I'm gonna change the subject a little bit, and then I really wanna leverage on your knowledge and your experience for the people who are coming to this country for the first time. Let's think of a hypothetical person that's coming and starting a new life in here. And this person wants to be successful and happy like yourself, and then maintain this healthy living, the lifestyle. What will be your recommendations to that people with that mindset?
You know, that's a really good question. And I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. Ultimately, I think the most important thing, like we talked about before, is reverse engineering. So knowing your goal, because you don't just hop in your car and start driving around in circles until you end up somewhere. For the most part, you have to have direction. I'm headed here. So I think, you know, when you come, if you're somebody that's coming to the country right here, especially Toronto can be a very overwhelming city. It can be very intimidating to people. Whether or not you were born in Canada or whether or not you were from an outside city coming in. So I would say focus on what your goal truly is. Research as much as you possibly can. There's a lot of misinformation, obviously, in the world and on the internet, but it's also not too difficult to find and elect the right leaders today. You know, I consider myself to be a lone wolf for a lot of things that I do, but over the past maybe even 5-6 months, I've had, you know, I'm grateful to say that I have a lot of the right people in my life that are helping to push me forward, that are helping to challenge me, but at the same time recognize that what we're trying to build here with Legend is so much bigger than us. And it's beautiful to see people that tap into that vision and they help, you know, push me forward, and they help push, we all help push each other forward. So I think, you know, I'm not saying come to a different city, make friends. You got to be very selective and very cautious of who you meet and, you know, what the exchange of energy is and the investment. But ultimately, try and really keep yourself open-minded to new experiences, because you're going to learn from that, you're going to grow from that. And through that, I think you're going to have a better understanding of finding people that are going to help challenge you and push you forward. And if you truly have something that can empower others, not only do I believe just the energy and law of the universe is going to open up a path for you to succeed, but I think people are going to recognize, you know, your potential, and if your heart is pure, you know, people are going to start to move things around to help you excel in life and get your message and your movement out to others.